Hello, namaste everyone. I hope you guys are doing great. Welcome back to my channel. And today's video is for Venus going into the sign of Gemini and being conjunct with Jupiter. So, definitely, we have a lot to discuss here because this is an important conjunction to be happening. Because Venus is actually going to come together with Jupiter, which is going to give us a bit of wisdom with relationships, but also will beautify our wisdom, creativity, and whatnot. So let's get started. But before that, please subscribe my channel and also hit the bell icon below so that you get regular updates. If you would like to have your personal readings from me, you can check out the link in the description box, www.anmollastrology.com. Under the readings and unique reading section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. Under courses section, you can sign up for online courses. Okay, so let's get started. Now, the important components of this transit are, first of all, that this transit is happening on 26th of July 2025, and it is going to be there till 20th of August 2025. So it's approximately, you can say, it's about 20 to 22 days, this transit. Now, the important things are that it is happening in the sign of Gemini, where already we have Jupiter and we are going to have Venus now. Venus, of course, is going to come towards Jupiter at some point, be exact of the degrees of Jupiter, and then go ahead of Jupiter. And that's why we are going to divide this video into 3 parts so as to learn how will Venus react when it is ahead of Jupiter, before Jupiter, conjunct Jupiter, and ahead of Jupiter. Then Mercury also becomes very important in this analysis because Mercury is the dispositor of Gemini, which is going to be retrograde for most of the time, at least till the time Venus actually gets tightly conjunct on same degree with Jupiter. So definitely we need to understand the situation of Mercury also. Now, let's first start with how Venus behaves in the sign of Gemini. See, Venus is considered to be healthier or to be a friendly sign in the sign of Gemini. Venus naturally rules the 2nd and the 7th house. So it rules our finances, income, lifestyle, money, career. It also represents your relationships, partnerships, your interaction with others, especially your spouse and your romantic partners, right? So Venus is basically the spouse most, and the way you interact in a love situation, the way you have your perspective in love, the way you are in your romantic life, the way you have your expression in romance. So now we have the lords of the 2nd house and the lords of the 7th house, which is Venus. We have that in the 3rd house. So that means when Venus comes into the sign of Gemini, a person or people in general are more expressive. They express their creativity by the way of either artistically doing something, right, like writing, painting, dancing, or anything that is associated with your hand movements, body movements, anything like that. And also it represents that you express yourself, express your creativity, express your love, pleasure through communication. So comparatively to any other sign, Venus becomes quite expressive in this particular zodiac sign. But of course, along with that, whenever Venus comes into the sign of Gemini, it also makes a person struggle a bit with relationships, struggle with their own stability with relationships. So definitely as a result, third house or the house of Gemini is also about one's efforts. So that's why Venus coming there, you are required to put some efforts into your relationships, into your, encounters, and also with your communication. And since Venus is the natural lord of the second house and the seventh house, both the mark sthan, it brings about a significant transformation either in the job scenarios, or in the finances, or in the interaction with others. So career life, married life, or relationship side of your life, your relationship with a family, all of these things are subject to experience transformation whenever Venus comes in the sign of Gemini. Also, a person becomes quite significantly concerned with their appearance, with their health and nutrition, because you are taking the second and the seventh lord, and that to Venus, into the third house. That means everyone would just find some inclination to either do something beautiful to their surroundings, or to beautify their own self, or sculpt their body, basically, because this Venus is being influenced by the energy of Mercury, that to the Gemini side of Mercury, right? So a lot of communication, lots and lots of thoughts going around, very much playfulness, all of these things we can expect by Venus being in the sign of Gemini. Now, when Venus gets conjunct with Jupiter at the same time, what could be the results? So now what we have is, we have the second and the seventh lord being conjunct with the ninth and the 12th lord coming in the third house. That means it is going to affect all these house rulership. First of all, Venus and Jupiter are the two gurus. Venus is the guru of the Asuras. Jupiter is the guru of the Devatas. Both of them have quite contradictory mindset. First of all, they create opposition in ideologies or lack of similar opinion with relationship partners, or with your gurus, or with someone who's trying to teach you something. So definitely when two gurus come together, it means that they tend to feel that they are the ones who know everything, and rather they are actually the ones who do have a lot of knowledge. Because see, Venus is the materialistic aspect of life. It's all the practical things. Like, for example, if you're deciding to get married to someone, if you are looking for how that person looks, how that person is on the papers, actually that's more with Sun, but how that person looks, is that person beautiful, good looking, or whatnot? Does that person has this amount of money, that amount of money, or all the materialistic aspects you can think of, or all the practical aspects rather you can think of, how that person is going to balance my relationships, how that person is going to add into my growth in my life. That is when you are seeing, or you have a prominent Venus presence, because now you have a bit of materialistic or practical worldly approach with your selection. Now, on the second hand, or the other side, if you are planning to decide on a partner based on traditions, intellectual intimacy, like how that person is as a person, is that person helpful, is that person honest, is that person wisdom oriented, is that person intelligent, is that person good with his nature and with his overall life. That is when your Jupiter gets strong, and that means that your Jupiter is actually influencing your decisions. right? It's not that Jupiter doesn't have to do with money. Rather, you would actually see, when you see an individual chart with a strong presence of Jupiter, they can be highly calculative with money. They can be highly money oriented. Not that they want to grab someone else's money or want it from someone else, but they always desire to show off what they have, to show off and celebrate their money. But when it is Venus, you would see that Venetian people would rather go more towards comforts. They would go more towards balancing their relationships, being surrounded by others, and having their own space of time, relaxation, comforts as well. So that's also a typical difference between Venus and Jupiter. Now, when these two planets are coming together, that means you are always conflicted into these two sides of the world. Now, since they are coming together in the transits, that means that now the duration for the whole of month, or approximately for the whole of month of August, is going to be about you attaining wisdom. Not just wisdom that you get as your life lesson through relationships, but also to learn what relationships are about. It's like you are just going to hold the sword from both the ends. It's like two-headed sword. Right? So that's the scenario that we are going to experience with Venus and Jupiter. So Venus and Jupiter being together, of course, I told you guys, there is difference of opinion, different ideologies, and also there's a bit of arrogance in an individual. So wherever this Venus and Jupiter comes in, you might act extremely confident and a bit arrogant into that area, right? Like suppose, for if you have Gemini in your 10th house, then you can act very adamant and not welcoming suggestions from your bosses. You're going to be like that, I know what I'm doing and you need to change what you're telling me. So that is a kind of a situation which Venus and Jupiter conjunction makes. But of course, who has the lowest degrees, that depends. And that is what we are going to talk about here. Now, for example, if Venus has the lowest degrees, which actually it is going to have from 26th of July, I think I said 28th of July previously. So 26th of July till 11th of August, Venus is going to be from 1 degree to 18 degrees of the sign of Gemini. Right? So during this time, what will happen? So from 26th of July to what date I mentioned? 11th of August, Mercury is retrograde. Venus is at lower degree than Jupiter, because by that time Jupiter will be 19 degrees and they are going to get conjunct together on 19 degrees on 12th of August. So Venus having the lowest degrees means Venus is going to hold this conjunction. So while these two planets are together and Venus has the lower degrees, that means you give importance to relationships. You give importance to relationships and your feelings, your emotions, your expression of love way more than traditions, morality, and everything else, everything more spiritual. But definitely all of it, all the situations like Mercury being retrograde, Jupiter and Venus conjunction, Rahu aspecting this conjunction, all of it is telling us to heal within. So people are going to choose beauty with their spirituality. It's like a blend of artisticness along with spirituality, along with wisdom or knowledgeable aspects, knowledgeable subjects. Right? When Venus has the lowest degrees, then the Jupiter, that means that you are able to enjoy as per what your wishes are. You are able to be more creative and more diversified, more dynamic with your creativity, with your skills, and also with your communication. So this is going to be extremely well, conjunction transit for the ones who are in music industry, who are in IT sectors, and who are in anything which is about creativity and artistic elements. Okay, here also this means that the ethics and morals are not neglected, but they are on the back end. But the desire to balance relationships or giving relationships another chance, giving relationships that effort, that courage, and that association with love and comfort and arts is more. Okay. So, for this, while diplomacy is something which is going to be the key of relationships, diplomacy with wisdom, or to getting worldly lessons, to getting practical lessons through your relationships, through your encounters. And when I'm talking about these lessons, they are not something which are based on Jupiter or Saturn, which are based on karma. It's rather something way beautiful because of the presence of Venus. This is way beautiful, which actually would improvise which would improvise communication, which would help you balance the spiritual and the materialistic side within yourself and with the aspect of your relationships till the time Venus is at the lower degrees. Then comes a timeline or a day, in fact, I would say 12th of August, when Jupiter and Venus are conjunct exactly at 9 degrees. Rather, the conjunction is strong when it is between 3 degrees. So while we are discussing about the transits, so at 19 degrees, they join hands, but 3 degrees minus, so starting from 16 degrees and till 3 degrees plus, as in 22 degrees of Gemini, till whole of this pattern, I would suggest not to establish any strong grounds when it comes to relationships, or not to celebrate too early about relationship or about money or about anything, because when they are coming closer into connection with each other, remember, there are two gurus who do not believe that their ideologies match and do not go with each other's opinion. So of course that's a rift there, right? And that rift is going to be quite unpredictable, because this exact conjunction is going to happen in the nakshatra of Ardra, in the very last degrees of the nakshatra of Ardra. Ardra is all about immense transformation. So this time is actually from 16 degrees Gemini till 19 degrees, well, they will join hands till 12th of August, is actually a time where you can get misunderstood with your expression of love, where you can get misunderstood or misjudged for your actions taken, which can appear to be immoral or selfish. So it could lead to misunderstandings. So avoid any significant decisions, any important decisions when it is either about your travel, it's about your work, or it's about your relationships. When they are strongly conjunct on 12th of August, that is the day which is extremely important to not take any permanent or big decisions. And that is the day when you should either preach to Lord Vishnu, to Goddess Lakshmi, to Lord Shiva, and Lord Krishna. These gods have the association with this conjunction. So it would be brilliant if you guys would give your time to these gods, meditate, by, preaching them, or just go with their mantras, do certain rituals on that day so as to just give your respect to these planets. And then beyond 12th of August, from almost 13th of August till 20th of August, Venus is going to start moving away from Jupiter. It is going to start moving away, start moving ahead. Now what will happen? Mercury would have gone direct, Saturn would have been still retrograde, Rahu's aspect is still there. But Jupiter now holds the lowest degrees. Now is the time which is not more enjoyable, but which is rather more lesson oriented, more about decision making and sticking to your decisions. Because when Jupiter has the lower degrees, it makes you go through the wisdom of morality, the traditional mindset, and religious restrictions when it is about love. Of course, since this is a sign of Gemini, while Venus is at the lower degrees, it could give you some beautiful relations or beautiful initiation of relations online as well, and beautiful connection with social media. But then when it gets conjunct, and then Jupiter comes to the lower degrees and Venus is at the higher degrees, that means now it's the time for you to get the lessons. Now it's the time for you to value your actions and value your efforts. So if there would have been a misuse or unrequired use of either social media, either your efforts, your actions, your associations, now you would get the lessons for all the unrequired things as per your charts. Then it's like now materialistic aspects or the enjoyment, pleasurable comforts, mindset or aspects are now moving towards the back. And now Jupiter is coming in the front and saying, now you have to go through me. Now you have to deal with me first so as to get all of things what Venus can offer you. So Jupiter will bring you with tests of confusions, because it is the sign of Gemini, tests of over communication and rigid mindset, rigid and traditional mindset. So then it will make you deal with certain lessons related to that. So that's the whole journey we are going to experience for the coming days of Jupiter and Venus conjunction. Now let's go ahead with the Muhurat chart so as to know what this is going to bring in for us. Just give me 1 second, I'll share the screen. So within the Muhurat chart, we have Leo as the ascendant. We have Purva Falguni as the ascendant nakshatra. Venus and Jupiter is in the 11th house, and then the Lord is going second from itself, but it is retrograde. It is also going to affect this conjunction. At the same time, Rahu is giving its fifth aspect from the sign of Aquarius. Now, what does it tell? It basically shows us that, again, this time is about healing. This time is about being associated with one's desires, being associated with what a person wants, how to connect socially, how to get recognition from work, how to be career oriented, how to do multi-dimensional things, how to be curious for information and knowledge, but at the same time to learn to seek balance, to learn to know and value what is happening. So first things first, we would see a lot of technical changes happening, a lot of technical education and informations coming in. Like, for example, new softwares are coming in, which will help you create something good out of your knowledge, create something creative out of your knowledge. So everything related to creation and knowledge is going to be there with with this conjunction, with this transit. Along with that, this has to do a lot with research, repetitive research and experiments, practical experiments. Media is going to be in the limelight. Celebrities, social media influencers, and anyone who is attached to social media, creativity, art forms, they are going to be, and anything actually, any other career which has access to the media, access to online, are going to be in the limelight and are going to be the ones getting a lot affected from this. Okay, so overall, again, this transit is about inner healing. This transit is about understanding the importance of communication, creation, knowledge, and one very, very important thing. When Jupiter and Venus come together, that too in the sign of Gemini, you have to watch over what you communicate. Gossips or random communication, random bitching about someone, random judginess about someone, just random words coming out of your mouth are going to give you the harshest lessons, going to give you the lessons that you might not, would like. So whenever these two signs are in the sign of Gemini, and that too when they are going to get conjunct in Ardhara, right? You have to watch over your aggressive communications. You have to watch over any unnecessary words coming out of your mouth. Okay, so that's what is required. Now, specifically, let's go quickly over all the zodiac signs. Now, Mars. The sign of Leo. For Leo, Jupiter and Venus are getting conjunct in your 11th house. Jupiter is your 5th and your 8th lord, and Venus is the lord of your 3rd and your 10th house. Definitely some transformation you can expect with your career, some beautiful lessons, beautiful connections you can expect with your career and with your creativity. You definitely are going to work towards your desire and your desired goals in regards of your career. You might even research upon changing your profession or bringing in a significant change within your profession, which would involve your skills, creativity, and of course a big decision for which you might actually feel a little bit just like nervous, but you will be focused towards trying all the possible opportunities for work and for creativity. This time can create a bit of misunderstanding with the elder sibling. So be a little aware of that. Your spouse is also going to be very much connected with your social circle, or would be very much about her own gains as well. She would be very focused on social events, on society in general. Okay, so other than this is a beautiful time for you to build up your social network, to connect with a lot of people, of course with Rahu in the 7th house, because I do think you can get good opportunities, not just from your own land, but from overseas as well. Okay, but definitely there could be misunderstandings within the social circle, as in with friends. So definitely try to have a balanced relationship with your friend circle. Try not to be overpowering with your communication and with your beliefs over either your elder sibling or your social circle. Okay, next, quickly, we are moving to the sign of Virgo. Now, this Jupiter and Venus is happening in the 10th house. Jupiter is the lord of your 4th and the 7th house, and then Venus is the lord of your 2nd and the 9th house. This definitely means that this is a fruitful time for your career, but definitely you would have to take some responsibilities regarding your career. You would be also exploring options and learning a lot from your career, from not just learning as in learning with education or knowledge, but learning with practical experiences of interacting with your bosses, with your company members, or anyone you can associate yourself with. Definitely, this is also, Jupiter is basically quadrant to Saturn at the same time, along with Venus as well. So it has a great impact. That means that there has to be certain things you have to deal with as a part of, you have to prove your worth, you have to prove your skills within your career so that you get better results. But since your second lord and ninth lord all together is coming into your 10th house, and that too with the fourth and seventh lord, your spouse or your partnership business, your counterpart, your relationships are actually going to help you with your career growth and with the important decisions of your career. Along with that, this is a good time when, as far as your uh, as far as your money matters are concerned. And also this can work very well for obtaining some money, or your father could be benefited for with some money. Either you are selling an ancestral property, or you're selling something, you get money from there, you're selling business, you get money from there. Or it could generally mean that they are just doing good in their career and they are gaining from their career. Communication skills, efforts are going to be a very significant part of your career. So that is something that you would require to do there. Okay. Next, for the sign of Libra. For Libra individuals, this is happening. Jupiter and Venus is happening in the ninth house. Beautiful placement. Beautiful placement because it involves your first and the eighth house, and then it involves the third and the sixth house. Of course, Jupiter is not the healthiest planet for you, it is an anti planet for you. But it shows that because you will be willing to understand wisdom and how important ethics and morals are, that could actually lead you towards a beautiful marriage. It either gives, and also beautiful career on the same end. It will definitely make you learn, it will definitely make you align towards spirituality at the same time. But of course it can be a little heavier for your father. For your father figure, it can be a little bit heavier on their health. They have to look for different, options or different doctors to get themselves healed and some things like that. But overall, as far as your fortune is concerned and your work is concerned, you are going to experience significant changes, significant travels. Those travels can also be leisure in nature. But yes, this is definitely going to give you lessons that are going to help you in the future and rise your luck as well at the same time. You can get unexpected situations happening in your life. You can even get unexpected money, unexpected, money that can help you with some debts as well. Okay. For the relationship part, I definitely feel this is a time for your learning, and learning is going to also come from your relationships. This is not a time, not a very romantic time, but a time when you realize a lot of things about relationships. Okay. Next, we have Scorpio. For Scorpio individuals, Jupiter and Venus is happening to be in the eighth house. Jupiter is your second lord, right? And your fifth lord. That means your money and your investments are going into fixed deposits or fixed assets somewhere, which you either share with your partner or that is fixed in nature, that is going into long-term scenarios. So definitely this is an opportunity for you to invest your money somewhere, buy real estate or invest your money into shares, something of that sort. Now, Venus is also the lord of your seventh house and the lord of your 12th house. So, of course, it shows significant expenditure, involvement of the partner, of the spouse, and your spouse would want to, control your finances for this matter. Your spouse would act as if they know what are the ideas where you should invest and how you should tackle the money, how you should manage the money, and they would be managing the money actually. This could even be quite impressive transition for your partner's finances and for your partner's life. This is a highly spiritual time which is good when which is going to make you dive into spirituality and spiritual learning. Next is Sagittarius. So for Sagittarius, Jupiter is your first lord. So Jupiter is your first and the fourth lord coming into the seventh house. Venus is your 11th lord and your sixth lord coming into the seventh house. That means that all your comforts, all your definition of your personality, all your gains are going towards your partner or your partnership business or your spouse, your marriage. Your marriage is definitely going to have a up and down time during this while. You are going to feel adamant with your ideologies and your opinions. Your partner is going to be, feeling their own ideologies, their own experiences. So both of you can have lack of similar opinions. So there can be situations where you will get your wisdom with your experience or the experiences of your partner. At the same time, it could be a little conflicting, as in there can be a little bit of arguments upon not understanding each other's perspectives. But definitely, when it is about career and money matters, this actually talks for fame. This actually talks for, you getting appreciated for your work, for your skills, and for your knowledge. At the same time, Mercury is in the eighth house, which is retrograde. So you can expect unexpected changes coming within your marriage situation, and within your work and business also. This unexpected change could even be sudden gains, sudden changes in your career, or sudden fame as well. Okay, now but of course this changes the whole dynamic with the relationships. This changes whole dynamic of how you connect with others, how you connect with people. Okay, now next we have the sign of Capricorn. For Capricorn, this is happening in the sixth house. Venus and Jupiter conjunct in the sixth house is not at all considered as good. Why this is not considered as good? Because, first of all, Jupiter does not rule good houses, it rules the third and the 12th house. And on top of it, third and 12th house is getting connected with your fifth and 10th lord, which is extremely important for your career. And all of that is coming into the sixth house. This is the time when you need to settle yourself up and not express too much. Your expression, your opinions can land yourself into conflicts and land yourself into problems, your own problems. Because being in Gemini, it makes a person quite debatable. They are always up for, debating or putting up their mark that I know this is correct and I'm going to do things like this. I don't care about your opinion. That could be the attitude of yours with very close relationship of yours, and especially within the marriage, which could actually give you quite intense events within your marriage, quite intense arguments within your marriage. So that's why the factor with the marriage doesn't seem to be quite healthy here. And of course, along with that, there are significant changes to be happening in regards of your career as well. There could be some some sort of um like unnecessary investment or unnecessary change that you might make towards your career. It does tell me that it is strong. This conjunction and transit is strong if you want to add on something creative or a creative skill that you will adopt every day in your routine life. At the same time, you would require to take care of your health. You would definitely strongly require to take care of your health, because your health is going to bother you. And your health is also going to bring in some time off from the work or some transformation within your existing job scenario, work scenario, business scenario, anything of that sort. And of course, romantic relationships are not the best ones right now. And with this transit, it can bring about healing with your own argumentative nature in love, in relationships. That is something you have to work upon during this transit. Right? So your wisdom is actually oriented with this particular scenario. Now, next we have Aquarius rising individuals. For Aquariuses, Venus and Jupiter is coming into the fifth house. It's like this is your time to actually identify your own creative skills and to educate yourself first with them, and then help people know about those creations, those artistic, you know, artistic things, artistic talent of yours. This is a time when you'll be a lot involved into music, arts, creativity, and with your children. Right now, this Jupiter is the lord of your second house and your 11th house. Your second and 11th is coming into the fifth house. That means you'll be able to generate good amount of money through either your education, your knowledge, or your creativity. Then you also get Venus, which is the lord of the fourth and the ninth house. Again, it's about knowledge, it's about research, it's about one's inner skills. So you are going to use all these capability of yours, all your communication powers, your good diplomatic, impressive communication powers to actually get better with your career and to be known for it. And on the other hand, it is a beautiful combination for you to have a romantic encounter. But, the way I mentioned that the different timelines are going to go, that is the kind of scenario you can expect in this particular love encounter that you might get. Right? Right now, as of now, I guess this relationships thing is actually are being exhausting for you, and you're feeling like overly exhausted by it. But very soon, when Mars will move ahead and then Jupiter and Venus are of course coming together, it can bring about some good changes, not massive changes, but good little changes. This Venus and Jupiter is going to change your perspective with knowledge, change your perspective with your, with your romantic life as well. Now, next we have the sign of Pisces. For Pisces individuals, Jupiter and Venus is coming into the fourth house. You want to make some significant change in terms of your home and at least your room. You want to make structural changes. You want to make changes within yourself, within your appearance. So maybe if you are a female, you want to get your hair colored. If you're a male, you want to do something, different with your looks. You want to experience that beauty within yourself, and also which is appeared outside as well. Now, this Venus is the lord of your third house and the lord of your eighth house. But this conjunction, okay, so Jupiter is the lord of the 10th, first and the 10th house. This particular combination is going to bring about significant concerns with your mother. She will have to take care of her health. She will, of course, you are also going through your your Sadhisati and Saturn transit. So definitely your mother has to take care of her health. There are also going to be certain lessons that you are going to learn either on motherhood Like, for example, if you're an expecting mother, you might get, the birth of the child may happen, and you will actually experience lessons and wisdom that we all get through motherhood in the very initial stage of motherhood. Actually, it's just like astrology, very deep and learning every day, right? Then with Venus and Jupiter, there's some heavy karma associated, heavy lesson associated with the home environment, and with the mother, of course. Okay. And as soon as I said mother and motherhood, my daughter is at the door and she's banging on the door. My God, beautiful astrology is. Yavu, coming. Wait 5 minutes. She's crying now. My God, I have to quickly wind it up. So, yeah, Venus and Jupiter in the fourth house, it does gives a bit of heaviness with one's heart, where they have to go through an intense transformation with with their heart space, intense transformation within their home and within their heart structures, right? So, yeah, that's about what it could bring in. Of course, with money matters, it could even bring good perspectives with money, good, it could bring in luxury for certain individuals as well, based on your overall chart. But definitely, this is a time of you learning and healing your own emotional state and being responsible towards the home, and learning about what is the practical side of running a home, of being a mother, of being a mother like figure. Okay. Next, we have the sign of Aries. For Aries individuals, this is happening in the third house. Brilliant time for doing something creative, brilliant time for communications, diplomatic communications, wisdom oriented communications. Definitely a karmic time if you go for gossips. Definitely not a time when you'll have to go for gossips and you have to be associate yourself with gossips, unnecessary words out of your mouth, and unnecessary communication. Definitely a time very much oriented towards your your creativity, your creative expression. Of course, also for the Aries individuals, this time is a bit stressful for your mother as well, and bit stressful for their health as well. Now, Venus is the lord of the second and the seventh house, coming into the third house with the lord of the ninth and the 12th. There can be a significant travel or shift of residence. You can be very much involved with your expertise, with your skills, creative skills, right? And working in isolation with your work. And there can be significant changes with your job scenario, job work. And based on how your Mercury is placed, how your third house is, it could be good or it could be bad. But definitely a change is there. It could make you get involved into communications, artistic skills, and all the things like this. Even your spouse is going to be very much associated with the, improvising her or his skills, communicating and having and being indulged into spirituality, because this is ninth from your chart, like, it's ninth from the seventh house. This also brings about misunderstandings with younger siblings, and some heaviness or some sort of, lack of similar opinions with the younger siblings. Okay, so it's advisable to manage and balance your relationship with the younger sibling or siblings in general. Okay, and this would also make you go into, just framing your body, like being more involved into your health and nutrition, and being concerned about how your body is looking, how your structures are looking, right? So what do I mean by structures are looking? I meant to say how you are looking. My God. Next we have Taurus. So for Taurus individuals, Venus is your ascendant lord. So that's why it is going to impact you. Your first and your sixth lord is coming into the second house, conjunct your eighth and the 11th. There can be a sudden gain that you can experience, sudden gain of wealth, sudden gain of money. You might put your money into some sources, into, you know, 3 to 4 different sources, either in the form of jewelry, in the form of jewels, in the form of FDs, in the form of investments and whatnot. And this also shows that you might also have a significant expenditure, sudden expenditure that would come around your way. And on the other hand, it's sudden investments as well. But overall, the situation with your money matters, the situation with your, career looks good. At the same time, I do think there's a significant lesson you are going to learn through finances and through the family. Within the family, there can be a major event that could happen, because of which you are going to be the one to learn a lesson regarding family, family's worth, communication, speech, and finances. Okay. Yeah, so we have first and sixth lord and eighth and 11th lord. 1, 6, 8, 11. Yeah, for career, it's brilliant. It's brilliant for you to express yourself, be out there online, communicating with people, presenting your knowledge, presenting your expertise, putting your skills down there. So that is going, and it's also an enjoyable time, a time where you are going to spend a lot of money on luxury first and then on show off. So important decisions regarding the finances have to be avoided from the 16 degrees till almost 22 degrees, right? Now, next we have the sign of Gemini. For sign of Gemini, Venus and Jupiter is coming into your ascendant. Now, as beautiful as it is related to your creative self-expression, related to your creativity, arts, wisdom, knowledge, everything, it is also highly, it's a energy which can make you misunderstood, which can make you quite rigid in your approach. So whatever your beliefs are, whatever you are thinking, you will go into conflict. You will go in your self conflict nature. Like, you would be confused whether to choose materialistic aspects of life or aspects which are required, or should I go by morals, should I go by ethics, what are they about, right? So that is a dilemma that you might see yourself into. Now, Venus is the lord of your 12th house and the 5th house. There can be a feeling of lost love that can be strong in the initial days of this transit. Then Jupiter is the lord of the 7th and the 10th. So overall, we have 5th, 7th, 10th, and 12th lords together in the first house. Very, very creative time, but there is a feeling of loss of someone. Either it's a love encounter, it's a relationship, as in it's someone in your family, it's someone of your relations. Like, there's a feeling that you are just repenting on the feeling of losing someone, and you are in your own zone, trying to listen to music, listening to podcasts, trying to just balance your own emotions. It's emotionally a quite heavy time till for the first days, especially when Venus is on the lower degrees. When Jupiter comes on the lower degrees, then it will make you it would basically develop understanding of what the situation required from you, and a move on process from breakups happen. That is what this Venus and Jupiter conjunctions are going to do for us, right? Of course, this is the time when you would want to communicate with your emotions. You want to just speak out, but just be careful of not being misunderstood with all of these things. Right now, lastly, we have the sign of Cancer. For Cancer individuals, this is happening in the 12th house. Jupiter and Venus, when come together in the 12th house, it plays with the mind of a person. Just like Geminis, it is going to be a very conflicted, self-conflicted time for you people. You will have to visit hospitals, you will have to visit clinics, so as to get done with so as to rectify some problem with your health. You have to definitely take care of your health. I think there might be some health issue that will reappear, which would have been there previously and now it would reappear, right? So at the same time, Venus is the lord of your fourth and your 11th house. So you may actually get it could even trigger shift of residence. Then Venus is the lord of Jupiter is the lord of your sixth and the ninth house. Definitely it will make you travel overseas, make you and hospitals, of course. 12th house is related to overseas, it is related to hospitals as well. So traveling is there, spiritually aligning is there, accumulating spiritual knowledge is there. For Cancerians, you guys are going to be very much involved into occult studies, astrology, mythology, everything and anything of that sort. The only problem with this Jupiter and Venus conjunction in the 12th house is related to your subconscious mind, your decisions. You might feel confused with your decisions, but it will help you immensely with your creative subjects, with you write everything down. That is going to be brilliant for you. That is going to be beautiful for you, right? And this also can give you heavy expenditures, right? And that to sudden expenditures that could come about. And most of the expenditures I feel are going to be either on traveling, or it is going to be related to the home. You might want to buy a home at a distance as well, okay? But definitely a time where you would want to enjoy the luxury, enjoy the pleasure oriented time. Okay, guys. So this was my analysis about Venus and Jupiter conjunction happening from 26th of July till 20th of August. I hope this gives you good insights and help you make your decisions. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Take care.